Watson here, play-by-play for the Abby Canucks. You've got it locked in the line change, a Vancouver Canucks podcast.
Canucks season has been a roller coaster. While the trade rumors are swirling, the real answers might already be just an hour down the highway. The NHL stretch run approaching and management signaling a potential rebuild, it's time to stop looking at what we can trade for and start looking at what we've already built. Today we're breaking down the Abbotsford Stars who are banging on the door, who's ready for the big stage, and who could be the spark that this roster desperately needs. Canucks Nation, welcome back to the Line Change, a Vancouver Canucks podcast. We're going to change things up a bit, as we're actually going to be going over an article that talks about which AHL prospects could get that look as we near the end of the season. This article is from our friends over at Canucks Army, Jacob Fraser in particular. I'll be sure to leave a link to this article in the description down below so you guys can go ahead and check it out yourselves. But let's not waste any more time and just dive right into it, shall we? So, following the Olympic break, we can expect the Vancouver Canucks to be sellers, obviously. Leading up to the NHL trade deadline, the expectation is that the Canucks will be making some moves, but who exactly? That's something we'll obviously have to wait and find out. Perhaps we could find out as soon as, within the next few days. What's a guarantee, though, is that the rest of the season for the Canucks should be focused on giving the young guys more looks and giving them more chances to develop at the NHL level. This is something we've been saying for weeks now. Let the young guys play. We've been yelling it for a while now. Let the young guys play. Obviously, with Lekharmaki's injury, that rules him out. But we've been saying, let the young guys play. And honestly, this is the Canucks' chance to do exactly that. Let the young guys play. The team's prospect pool isn't necessarily stocked with young talent. There aren't a ton of options for guys on the fringe who look ready to make a full-time jump to the NHL. That being said, there are a few players in the organization who could get a look with the big club at some point during the 25 remaining games this season. Yes, you heard that right. 25 remaining games. So let's go ahead and look at some of those people. Ty Mueller is a name that Canuck fans are probably familiar with. They probably remember him from his brief 2-game stint last season. And also, Ty Mueller's name, Patrick Allvin, can't help but sing his praises. Also, Brandon Astle, our good friend, is also a big fan of Ty Mueller himself and has obviously brought him up on multiple different occasions when we've had him on the podcast. He could very well be an option to bring up and feature in the NHL lineup. He's currently leading Abbotsford in scoring with 23 points, with obviously the departure of Lekharmaki. The team likely to move Teddy Blucher and possibly David Kampf as well. Mueller could very well get a look down the middle if either or both of those guys end up moving. Just like he did last season, where, as we mentioned, he saw 2 NHL games, did not have any points in those games, at least I believe. But this time around, he could likely get a bit of a longer stint with Vancouver, but at 22 years old, why not see what you have with the former 2023 4th-round draft pick? I honestly would be very keen on this, especially if they do trade the likes of Bluger or Kampf. I know there's some talk about maybe keeping Bluger, but I I may have mentioned that myself, but out of Bluger or Kampf, you're going to at least be trading at least one of them, at least I think anyway. So Mueller could very well take that spot. Now, yes, you could say, what about Sasson or Ratu? We'll cross that bridge when we cross it, but I do think Ty Mueller definitely does deserve a look, and hopefully Patrick Allvin, as well as Adam Foote, hopefully they think the same thing as well. But moving on, there are also Lucas Reichel and Archie Bains, are also another couple forwards who have had much longer stints in the NHL but could likely see more opportunity at some point. Although the Reichel experiment, particularly, at center, it didn't work. If the Canucks don't move him ahead of the deadline, which, by the way, we heard a while back that he was given the okay to, rather his agent, I believe, was given the freedom to seek out a trade, and we've heard absolutely nothing ever since. Instead, he's been playing in Abbotsford. But if they don't move him by the deadline, could it be worth giving him another opportunity, at least on the wing? I don't know. My whole gripe with that is I'm not sure if they're actually going to actually do it and have him play on the wing. We've been telling them to do it, and they still keep, for some reason, putting him at center. So I don't trust Adam Foote to actually play him on the wing. So I think Reichel is a, not good option. But Steve Baines, on the other hand, 49 games played with Vancouver, has certainly had plenty of opportunities. We know this. He's been featured in the top 6, and he's been on the power play many times. And at only 24 years old, the team needs to decide whether they believe he can be a full-time NHLer, or if he's just going to be organizational depth moving forward. Remember, he's not going to be able to move up and down through the AHL and NHL forever. No, I actually can't remember exactly if Baines is actually waiver exempt. I'm not sure if he has this year left, and then starting next year, he's officially waiver exempt, or if that actually already started. Let me know in the comment section down below. Giving Baines a few more games this season would be a fair way to evaluate that and, help them plan heading into the offseason and decide what they're going to do with Baines. But moving forward, we have Danila Klimovich, who could be a dark horse option and could get a look with the big club. The former second-round pick has to feature in an NHL game almost 5 years after being selected by the Canucks. Yes, he's had his struggles in Abbotsford, but he possesses an elite shot. He, of course, wouldn't feature in every game for the rest of the year, but could definitely be an option to give at least a couple games this season. Klimovich is also someone else that Brandon Astle has also talked about on this podcast when I've had him on. So I could very well see Klimovich getting a look. And for all we know, he could very well surprise us. After all, he was absolutely fantastic during the Abbotsford Canucks' Calder Cup run. And then, of course, that brings us to the back end for the Vancouver Canucks, or the defense. To see any changes as far as the current roster, the Canucks have leading up to the deadline, though giving a couple games to some of the young defensemen probably isn't a bad idea. I mean, there might be a bit of a long jam up there. The two that the Canucks could look at are Kirill Kudryavtsev and Sawyer Minio. Kudryavtsev got a taste in the NHL last season, playing just 2 games, much like Ty Mueller. And this season, he's yet to get an opportunity, but has been playing well in Abbotsford. He's only played 28 AHL games, but is still tied for the team lead in points by a defenseman with Sawyer Minio. When it comes to Minio, though, this is his first year playing professional hockey, and he has also played well in his rookie AHL season. He's developing a lot quicker than people expected him to, and it could be a good chance to reward the 20-year-old with a short stint in the NHL. The rest of the season, the Canucks need to focus on development and giving their younger players more chances to play up in the lineup, giving younger guys in Abbotsford a shot at the NHL. Honestly, really can't hurt the team either. So there's that article. Once again, I will leave a link to it in the description down below so you guys can check it out yourselves. But if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to the Line Change, and be sure to have your notifications turned on so you don't miss more in-depth analysis of your Vancouver Canucks. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, is built for the fastest game on ice. With player props and live betting, every shift, every shot, every save gives you options to get in on the game with DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN, that's code THPN, to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois, 21 plus in most states. Void in Ontario, restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which will expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. This is a limited time offer. Copyright 2026 NHL, all rights reserved. This video has been a presentation of both DraftKings Sportsbook as well as the Hockey Podcast Network. Be sure to check out the network for your favorite podcast covering your favorite team at thehockeypodcastnetwork.com, the home of hockey podcasts, where it's every team, everywhere. Once again, drop your comments down below. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys on the next line change.